Hello. This is Tuesday, April the 18th, 2023. This is a sideshow, and I'm Theodore Parker. Today, in this area of Kentucky, or around about now, the temperature is 41 degrees and goes up to 70 today. So, if you're watching the sideshow on Facebook or Instagram, as I say, talking about it on WhatsApp, don't forget to like, comment, and share in the boxes below. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe in the boxes provided. There are a number of news items that caught my attention, so I'm going to share them with the viewers today. Starting with Alabama authorities ask for community's help after mass shooting kills 4. Alabama authorities are asking for the community's help as they search for answers surrounding a mass shooting that killed 4 people and injured more than 24 others at a birthday party in the city of Dadeville. Among the 28 people wounded are some with critical injuries. Next, prosecutor files 2 felony charges against suspect in Ralph Yarl shooting. In the April 13th shooting of a 16-year-old, Ralph Yarl, Y-A-R-L, Andrew Lester, an 85-year-old white man, was charged with 1 count of felony assault in the first degree and 1 count of armed criminal action, also a felony. Clay County prosecuting attorney Zachary Thomas said during a press conference Monday evening. The 16-year-old black teenager was shot Thursday night by a homeowner in Kansas City after he accidentally went to the wrong address to pick up his siblings, police said on Sunday. Next, grand jury declines to indict officers involved in Jayland Walker's death. This took place approximately a year ago in 2022. A grand jury has chosen not to indict officers on state criminal charges for the death of Jayland Walker, a 25-year-old who was fatally shot after a car and foot chase by police on June 27, 2022, in Akron, according to Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost. Officers have said they had attempted to pull Walker over for a traffic violation and an equipment violation with his car. He apparently refused to stop, which set off a chase that ended in his death. As Walker ran away from police, 8 officers simultaneously fired at him, fatally shooting Walker and fatally shooting him. Walker had 46 gunshot wounds to his body. A gun was recovered inside his car. Now, on this one, I'm going to pause for a minute because we've already covered gun violence, trying to get some gun bans going and gun laws and things of this nature. But I'm pausing because I was looking over my notes, and on March 23rd of this year, I did a report on this same subject, police-involved fatal shootings. And the report contained information that showed that over 1,000 people are killed per year in America by police. Now, out of that number, and this is the point that relates to what I just passed to you, 40% of those killed by police did not have a gun. and 33% were fleeing. And out of that, 97% of the cases, officers were not charged. Top Republicans, U.S. House won't raise debt limit without spending cuts. Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy vowed Monday to pass legislation to lift the U.S. debt ceiling, but only with federal spending caps, a condition President Joe Biden has dismissed as a fiscal crisis looms. The United States hit its $31.4 trillion borrowing limit in January, prompting the Treasury to take extraordinary measures that allow it to continue financing the government activities. Now, in this one, I won't mention what's going on in Taiwan with China and in the Philippines and the United States. Oh, but I will say this in regards to that. April 26th, there's a joint military operation scheduled wherein they will use live ammunition in a military exercise to sink a ship off the coast of the Philippines. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., soon to announce White House run, sows doubts about vaccines. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. stood before the Lincoln Memorial in January of 2022 and condemned the federal government's coronavirus response by railing against totalitarianism. Jews in Nazi Germany, he suggested, had more freedom than Americans facing vaccination mandates and school, church, and business closures in the era of COVID-19. One of his comments was, Americans could have hid in the attic like Anne Frank. Shaven murder conviction upheld in George Floyd's death. The Minnesota Court of Appeals on Monday upheld former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chavin's second-degree murder conviction in the killing of George Floyd and let his 22-and-a-half-year sentence remain in place. Judge rejects Trump's request to delay trial in rape accuser Carol's lawsuit. A U.S. judge on Monday rejected former President Donald Trump's request to delay a scheduled April 25th trial over whether he defamed former EO magazine columnist E. Jean Carroll by denying he raped her. Oklahoma governor calls for resignations after county officials reportedly discussed killing journalists, hanging blacks. Oklahoma Governor to kind of set this up a little bit, these county officials, there was an incident, there was a fire, and a black woman at a black woman's home, she ran outside, but ran back inside while the fire was going on to try to save her pets, I think specifically dogs. And in the process, due to smoke inhalation or whatever, she died. So the body bag that they put her in was one of those silver type material ones. And those people that were present officially commented that it was like putting something in the oven and setting the temperature and coming back for it 15 minutes later. And this conversation happened to be overheard or became accessible to a journalist. So in a following meeting where these people were present, comments were made about making the journalist disappear. Somebody had access to excavation equipment and the holes were already dug, and complaining about the state of Black people in this country, not allowing them to use the same system they used years ago, with just taking them down by the creek and hanging them on a tree. So this information has gotten out. So Oklahoma governor calls for resignations after county officials reportedly discussed killing journalists and hanging Blacks. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt, Republican, has called for the McCurtain County Sheriff and multiple county officials to resign after leaked audio showed the county leaders discussing killing local reporter and lynching Black people. DeSantis threatens retaliation over Disney's attempt to thwart a state takeover. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on Monday threatened to build a prison or a competing theme park near the Magic Kingdom or raise taxes on Walt Disney World to retaliate against the company for resisting a state takeover of its special taxing district. 2 New York residents arrested for running secret Chinese police station. Significant national security matter. The FBI, Justice Department, and federal prosecutors announced Monday the arrest of 2 New York residents who allegedly ran an undisclosed Chinese government police station in Manhattan's Chinatown neighborhood. Liu Jianwang and Chen Jinping have each been charged with conspiring to act as agents of China's government, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York. Now, since this program airs on Facebook as well as YouTube, this next little piece of information, I think, should have value to all Facebook users, but it specifically relates to Facebook users in the United States. It hasn't went as far as the UK and other places in the world. So this particular article relates back to Cambridge Analytical and the $5 billion that Facebook was required to pay to the government for leaking that information related to giving the Trump campaign information to try to pass things on to voters. Okay. So this is like just about how everyone can get money from Facebook. Do you have a Facebook account? Here's how to file a claim in the $725 million Facebook open class action. Just about how everyone can get money from Facebook class settlement article. So here we go. And this is from yesterday, April 17th. Here's how to claim a chunk of $725 million lawsuit case. If you're one of the many people who, I'll read it to you verbatim so you can assess it for yourself. If you're one of the many people who used Facebook at some point between May 2007 and December 2022, you're likely in for a payday, but you have to submit a claim. Meta, the parent company of the Bay Area-based social network, has agreed to pay out $725 million to settle a long contested lawsuit over personal data privacy on Facebook. How much will the settlement's individuals payouts be? That depends on two things. This thing is full of ads, so please allow me. Meta, the parent company of the Bay Area-based social network, has agreed to pay out $725 million to settle a long-contested lawsuit over personal data privacy on Facebook. The class action suit began after the 2018 Cambridge Analytica scandal, but eventually added a litany of other alleged Facebook data dealings, alleging that the platform broke the law by enabling third parties to access users' personal content and information without users' authorization. Facebook admitted no wrongdoing by agreeing to the settlement and says it has changed its user privacy practices. The portal to submit claims asks for contact information and then asks a couple of brief questions about users' Facebook accounts. Filling out the entire claim took this writer less than 3 minutes. This is from Technology World. The page offers a slew of direct deposit options, including Venmo. Never heard of them. Claims are due August 25th and should pay out after the settlement's final hearing, which is scheduled for September 7th. The deadline to opt out of the settlement and retain rights to separately sue Facebook for any of the suit's privacy claims is July 26th. How much will the settlement's individual payouts be? That depends on two things: how many people submit claims and how long a claimant had an account on the platform. The settlement could distribute points to claimants for every month they had an account between May 24, 2007 and December 22nd, 2022, and then split the money after lawyers' fees of up to 25% and cash for the class representatives based on those numbers. In the settlement agreement, which received preliminary approval from a judge March 29th of this year, the plaintiff's lawyers estimate that 250 to 280 million U.S. adults are part of the Facebook user base and thus eligible for payment. The case could have gone on to trial, but the lawyers pointed out in the agreement that it would have been hard to prove actual damages across the entire user base. The company has also been issued a record $5 billion fine by the Federal Trade Commission for privacy violations. So there you have it. Yay! That's it. Hashtag.